What up, nerds, and welcome to another Trauma Mama episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob, and I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 532, recorded on Monday, June 16th, 2025. Tonight, we're talking about The Monster from 2016. This one was chosen by ya boy Mike. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy Rand Diesel. What's up, man?
What's up?
This is one for the kids. They love it. They cheer for it.
The children love Randeezy. It's just a fact.
Yes, you're the new Bluey, right?
I am the new Bluey.
You're like the baby shark.
I don't want to be the new Bluey. No, there's too many. Man, there's something unsavory about the Bluey business. I don't know what it is.
All right, well, moving on. Calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boys Soju. What's up?
Oh, what up? It's your mother boy Soju.
All right.
We love a mother boy.
Mother boy.
Sure. Ready? What about Ready Randy? That makes sense.
What?
My
What
dog.
are we talking?
Instead of Bluey, you're ready.
Ready Randy.
Man,
What's he ready to do, Bob? He's hanging out with kids.
Like
I don't know.
the color red. Reddish
That was
red.
the most confusing shit I've ever heard in my life. What in the fuck are you talking
The color. I was like, what?
The color red.
No, ready's another word, Bob, that most people say.
The colors, Duke. The colors.
No. You got to follow me. It all makes sense. We're gonna
You
make
gotta
millions.
follow me.
We're gonna
The
make
color.
millions. The kids
The
are gonna
colors,
right.
Duke. The
You could not have
colors.
chosen a more confusing thing to say.
I was confused.
Oh, yellowy Randy doesn't sound good. You got to get the alliteration.
It does not sound
Call
good.
me yellow, motherfucker. I will cut a motherfucker.
Greeny Randeezy, I guess that could work. I don't know. We got to workshop it, but we're onto something.
It's gotta be a color, though.
Clearly.
That much we know.
Clearly onto something here. Big thanks to your boy Mike for picking this week's flick, The Monster. But before we get into it, let's tackle a little bit of housekeeping on our end real quick. We do have our July poll currently posted on our Patreon website. If you guys support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this July. The theme for July is 1985. This is my takeover poll. I got 3 movies that are really, I don't think I've really mentioned this before. They're essentially all zombie movies from the year 1985. And they are Reanimator, Day of the Dead, and Return of the Living Dead.
Whoa, Bob. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
Also, how are those numbers looking?
Well, slight shift from last week. We still have a tie for second place between Reanimator and Day of the Dead, both sitting at 29%, so they've fallen slightly. Return of the Living Dead still on top, with a slight bump moving up to 43%.
Whoa. All right. Ooh. And we are halfway through the year. So, yeah, that's what the numbers are looking like.
What?
That's what they're looking like. The year, the month.
Jesus Christ! Is there a gas leak in all 3 of our homes right now?
Across the world, there's a gas leak. Boys, do you consider clear a color? Well, it's not a color for you.
No.
No. Bro. No.
All right.
What?
Okay, for real though, so are we on Quaaludes? What is happening?
Just curious.
Hey,
just
dog,
a curiosity.
my favorite color is clear.
My favorite color is when this car starts flying, dog.
We all ate pot brownies before recording. Get those votes in before the end of the month. We'll see what we're talking about this July. In other Patreon news, we're dropping mini casts every other Friday. We just dropped one on The Ugly Stepsister. Next up, this Friday the 20th, you got a brand new mini cast dropping on Patreon for Dangerous Animals, which is currently in theaters, and I recommend you watch it with your eyeballs.
Whoa.
I was going to watch it with my butthole, but I'm glad you set me straight.
The brown eye.
The only eye that matters.
They say to look, watch the world through your third eye, and buddy, I'm doing it.
Prying open my third eye, says Randy.
Whoa, that's
every morning. Randy's
that song I knew meaning.
He's screaming it from the toilet.
Oh yes.
Well, I'm gonna go smear some mud on my ass.
Maynard James Keenan is your shit inspo. That's
Oh yeah.
Oh man, he is a shit person. Anyway.
Check out the Dangerous Animals minicast in theaters. The minicast not in theaters. The movie's in theaters. The minicast is on Patreon. Check it all out.
Minicast is in theaters. just as Tom Cruise always wanted it to be.
It's just a thumbnail.
Tom Cruise just sitting there chopping popcorn, listening to us while watching our fucking
For
thumbnail.
$10, you can listen to my 30-minute review of a movie in theaters instead of watching the movie.
That's cinema.
Our
bitch.
automatically uploaded thumbnail that's not the right. It's
No,
the right
never the
dimension.
right one.
stretched as hell, and it's
Yep.
you'll love it.
We're gonna go ahead and make this 16:9. Why not?
You'll love it. Check it out. Last bit of Patreon news here. We are reopening the You Pick the Flick tier for the final time this year.
What, Bob?
Damn.
It's only June. Are you crazy?
I am insane. So we're doing
Lock
it.
him up.
Well, one
That
more
settles
time.
that.
One more time for the year. So this is the only way you can outright pick a movie for us to review on the show. We typically open this up once a quarter with 5 spots per quarter. We're going to be reopening this on Tuesday, July 1st with 6 spots. And those are the last 6 spots for the
What?
whole year.
Bob, you can't
Man.
count either. That's supposed to be 10.
I can't. I'm an idiot.
Well, dang.
Wow.
Take that to the
Okay.
bank.
Well, you said it.
6. That's it. So mark your calendars. Tuesday, July 1st. You pick the flick tier. One more
All
time
right.
for 2025. And
dude.
last bit of news I have, and then I'll shut
What
the
a
fuck
year
up.
it's been.
We got another new episode of Let's Get Physical Media. Everywhere you guys get your podcasts, your boy Mikey and myself are talking about our May pickups. So if you're interested in collecting Blu-rays or 4Ks or VHS tapes, check us out. Let's Get Physical Media everywhere.
I gotta say, Bob, I'm looking forward to next month's episode because I assume a dude got some gift cards for the B-Day.
B-Day.
I assume.
I did.
Splurge, perhaps.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little worried about the structural integrity of your home.
My shelves are just kind of...
Bob is currently sitting on top of a pile. It's the only
That
way.
chair's made of blues.
Yeah, it is.
That floor's blues. That air is blues.
It's really just blues all the way down.
Bob's breathing in the blues right now.
I do. I huff them. I huff them before...
Macroplastics, we call them.
That sweet off-gassing. You just gotta... It's really good for your lungs, my doctor says.
Open
up a can of with ass.
Stop breathing in my favorite color, bro.
You got any Red Rays in there, Bob?
Oh, Ready Randy would want to know if I had any red rays.
I gotta know. Ready Randy has a question.
Just loves the color red. That's all I got.
Famously.
Do you guys have anything you need to plug?
No.
I'll replug my Plug It Up app, from last week, now that it is officially out into the world. Yeah, I went on our friend Caitlin's Plug It Up podcast again and got to talk a little bit about Fear Street Prom Queen, which, we had a nice, long, fun discussion about. I was maybe about 75% as tired as I am now. So, I was still mildly coherent, which is nice. Not unlike here. I'm not going to make any fucking sense tonight. I'm really
that's
excited.
the kind of
about that.
episodes we like. So.
Yeah, those are the
I know
best.
it, buddy.
I know. You just got to push you to your limit, Ready Randy.
Yeah.
Ready Randy's
brown-
not so ready.
My brown eye is open and ready for business. Let's go.
He can truly see. Oh, okay. Sounds like we're squeaky clean.
This house is clean.
All right, let's get into the main event. We're talking about The Monster, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Bob, I can't remember our thumbnail at the beginning of this video. Do you have this box? You do.
It.
There it is, right there. Did you buy it for this episode?
I did. Indeed.
It's dedication.
I'm dedicated.
Really had to twist your arm, I know.
Not dedication to this show, dedication to the blues, of course.
His hobby, of course.
Just that. You got to inhale it. Just the...
Do you think this is the most expensive hobby you've ever had, Bob? Blue buying? Or do you think drumming was more expensive?
Ooh.
We don't need to get into that. We're talking about The Monster. You can buy this on Blu-ray. It's really easy to find. Get it.
I'm a blues buyer. It's kind of my thing.
Where did Bob go wrong? Were he and his friends sifting way too long through those Blu-ray bins? And it gets worse. He'll have no jet ski, wasting all his dough on those DVDs.
All right, enough beating around the blues, Bob. Give us your fucking monthly income and then subtract the blues.
They call me a blues man.
Negative $690.
Oh,
that's my overall
my baby's milk money.
Monthly take. It's negative $690. Woo. That's a lot of blues.
Considering the blues.
You can buy this anywhere. You can rent this. It's pretty easy to find if you want to. This is an earlier A24 joint from 2016. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. This was written and directed by Bryan Bertino from The Strangers fame.
Wait, the new one or the old one?
No, the good one.
I know.
The only one that matters so far. This stars Zoe Kazan, Ella Ballantine, Aaron Douglas. Fairly small cast in this one here. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. A mother and daughter must confront a terrifying monster when they break down on a deserted road. Gentlemen, have you seen this movie before? And would you recommend folks check it out? Ready, Randy, kick us off.
I am not ready. I would say that no. First of all, no, I've not seen this movie. I was not aware that this movie existed. So I'm pleased to have become aware of it. I don't know that I have a very strong recommend for this or a strong opposite of recommendation for this. I wouldn't say avoid it. I'd say if it's on, you could do worse. But I'm not going to tell people go out of their way for it, to be honest with you.
Medium to loose. Sounds good.
I would say medium to loose. Yes, I think that's about the nomenclature I would use.
Juice, what about you?
I had never seen or heard of this before. Complete unknown for me as well. And yeah, I think I'll echo that. It's just kind of a medium film, to be honest. I mean, actually, this might be the most appropriate medium to loose recommendation that has existed on this podcast. Bob, how about you?
We should do a ranking.
No
of the
joke
most
this time.
To loose.
Really, how medium to loose is this?
Ooh, buddy, that's a game of inches. That's a game of centimeters.
Bob,
gracious. Yeah, I've seen this once before. This is my second time watch, and it's a loose recommend. This is
not medium.
Medium to loose. This is somewhat typical for A24. I think they put out better stuff. They put out worse stuff. So. Very medium, very loose. Sounds like we're pretty much on the same page.
Sounds like a really heavy recommend for this movie, I think.
And watch it if you want to.
Sounds like a good time for Bob.
A really good time. We are going to be spoiling the shit out of The Monster. And here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Bob, another easy plot synopsis for you.
Yeah.
Pop it on me, big dog.
Another one.
Car, monster, ambulance, fire, sunrise. Credits.
I think you should do all of your plot synopses in emojis. That'll read really well in the audio.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, here's the plot for The Monster. Kathy is driving her teenage daughter Lizzie over to her father's house as it's his turn for custody. Tired of taking... Yeah, I think she's probably 13.
She's supposed to be a teenager?
Teen? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. Do they say the actual age?
I would place her around like 10.
10. She's young. She's a child.
She's young.
Whatever the age. Tired of taking care of her abusive, unstable, and alcoholic mother, Lizzie makes it clear she wants to live with her father permanently. As night falls, Kathy hits a wolf with her car, but its injuries look like they were sustained by an animal attack rather than the car. Kathy's injured in the collision, forcing Lizzie to call a tow truck and ambulance. The tow truck arrives, and its driver, Jesse, begins working underneath the car. Lizzie notices the wolf's body is gone and becomes frightened. Tired with bickering, Kathy gets out of the car to talk to Jesse, but cannot find him. Jesse's severed arm abruptly lands on the hood of the car. A severely mauled Jesse crawls out of the woods, only for a monstrous creature to drag him underneath the tow truck and eat him before Kathy can help. Attracted by the...
We're in a tight spot.
That's very true. Attracted by the sound of music emanating from Lizzie's teddy bear, the monster drags Kathy out of the car. Luckily, it's scared off by the approaching ambulance before it's able to kill Kathy. Kathy and Lizzie cower... Kathy and Lizzie cower inside the ambulance. The monster slaughters the EMT team. It smashes into the ambulance when Kathy tries to drive off, causing her to swerve into the woods. Kathy begins vomiting up blood and realizes she has internal bleeding. Now aware that the monster is scared away by bright lights, Kathy uses her lighter to make a torch and tells her daughter she's got a plan. She's going to run into the woods so the monster will chase after her, while Lizzie escapes to get help. Kathy finally admits to Lizzie that she truly does love her. Under the impression that Lizzie's now gotten away, Kathy allows the monster to attack and kill her, but Lizzie, who is unwilling to leave her mother behind, chases it away with a flashlight. A distraught and enraged Lizzie, now determined to avenge Kathy's death, uses her mother's lighter and a spray can she finds inside the ambulance to set the monster ablaze. Despite it being fatally injured, it attempts to lunge at her once more. She finally beats it to death with a large stick. Lizzie recalls a particularly hateful alcohol-fueled encounter with her mother, in which she apologizes and correctly predicts that Lizzie will grow up to be a much better person than she ever was. We then see the sun rise, and Lizzie emerges from the woods. Roll them credits.
All right.
There you go.
So the little girl who was in this, I guess she was 13 when the movie filmed. God, I don't know. I didn't place her at that age.
Yeah, I don't think they say an age, but she's young, maybe 12 in the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking tweenish, maybe.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. She could pass for 10. That's the thing about like kids are often cast a little bit older. For whatever reason, they just age them down with their outfits and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. She is. Yeah. I mean, even if she's 10 or 12 or 13 in the movie, whatever the age, she's extremely mature for her age and handles herself very well, and she's clearly had to do
necessity.
That. Yeah, exactly, because of how her mother is, and there's the flashbacks in this movie are so much more brutal than the monster stuff that we get, the flashback of her mother screaming at her to fuck off, and her being puking in the toilet, and just really horrific flashbacks and stuff. That's A24 gets kind of sort of dunked on now, I think, because it's the horror is just a trauma. It's I don't know if you guys have seen that ridiculous Sopranos meme going around. It's Christopher explaining elevated horror to Tony.
Yeah.
And it's called elevated horror, T. It's where the Dracula's just that your mom's an alcoholic. You can fill in whatever it is. That's kind of what it is. That's kind of the A24 it doesn't bother me. I think it bothers a lot of people that that when you boil it down, a lot of the times it's just a different sort of trauma. That's just kind of what horror is, though. A lot of the time,
the thing is, they kind of cornered the market on that, so it's a byproduct of them doing a good job at something no one else was really doing a great job at least not consistently. So
yeah,
it became kind of passe over the course of a decade to some extent to some folks. But,
I would agree, because Blumhouse was really filling that spot of, especially in the early days, of just the kind of straight up, almost classic style horror, bringing that back. So,
and this,
you need some artsy fartsy shit too,
Yeah, you had your they brought the straight horror in a small form, and A24 brought like the more heady, more heady artistic horror, and some of that like schlocky horror kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. People got a little bit over that after the zombie over zombie and Dracula overdoing that happened.
And now it's coming back.
So I don't be pretentious. I really did kind of think this, but I was curious if anybody else had this read on it. But talking about A24 and the trauma of it all, but I kind of took this kind of little journey and the monster, not even like by the end, just I don't know. Most of the film, I saw it as this almost kind of representation of a type of abusive relationship, because at the beginning, when she wakes up, she's like, I don't remember the guy's name. She's like, "Where's Roy?" or whatever. And when the mom wakes up, and then we have another instance where, I don't know, it's probably the same guy, coming down and being really scary and kind of like abusive towards the mom and the little girl or whatever, a confrontation. And so I kind of saw this as a kind of like storytelling version of that. Did anybody else kind of get that read on it?
Was like standing in for something or other, and like I think that's about as good of a guess as any. Like I didn't really have a strong the thing is, like, it felt almost too vague to pin down, but it did seem like they were pointing at something. And for the record, that was Roy, played by Scott Speedman, who you guys probably know from Underworld films, and who we all know from The Strangers.
See, Michael?
He was Roy.
I mean, Michael in
Underworld.
In Underworld.
Oh, I don't fucking know. So,
oh, you will.
Yes, he was actually. Yes.
Yeah, Michael.
That's what it says. Okay.
Oh, you will.
But it's weird. I just thought that was kind of strange because like his role is like very, very quick. Like he's only in like 2 scenes.
For sure. I didn't even realize he was in The Strangers. Is he the main guy?
He's like the main guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go there.
Mm-hmm. He's the Bluebell guy.
I read the monster as just being a stand-in for an abusive parent, because like in that one night, like, she says goodbye to her mom, and as the monster is also killed, like they're sort of, I don't know, one and the same in that evening. She's sort of saying goodbye to both of them, both her mom and like, I guess, squaring off with her trauma. And even like the teddy bear that sort of like symbolizes her whatever innocence or whatever youth she might have left, she uses that as a distraction for the monster so that she can like torch it. Like she throws it away, it's like
I mean, I think that if I had any read on it, it would be something along those lines, but it's like the monster to me is like the idea of falling to alcoholism. So it's the mom's monster until she gets overtaken by it. And then the little girl has to eventually, like, basically battle a hereditary thing that, like, she manages to get out right away. You know what I mean? She sees the monster for what it is and gets out from under it. That's kind of what I was toying with, which is maybe a little less substantiated.
I didn't read any, like, hereditary thing, but just, like, her dealing with the abuse that she's already taken from her mom's disease, Yeah. As being the monster.
I actually thought that they did a pretty good job with the elements of the mom and the daughter in some good subtle ways too. So we mentioned that the little girl, she acts way more mature than she is because she kind of has to. The opening scene is kind of like her cleaning up after her mom, throwing the cigarettes away, getting the house clean and being on time and ready. And her mom is like drunk in the in the bed and stuff like that, super late. But even the element of the doll, I thought was like a nice touch because and her fear and anxiety. So she's like very mature, but she's also doesn't feel secure or protected. But she also has this regressive state. So like she takes on these responsibilities because she has to, because her mom is so irresponsible, but at a much older age than she should be, she's still clinging to these dolls that are appropriate for like a 2 or 3-year-old, you know? So she's got this regressive state because she has no emotional stability in her life. She doesn't feel safe around her mom. Her mom is putting her in situations that continuously make her feel unsafe, whether from the mom or from like the boyfriend who's around or whatever the situation is. Even, you know, when they get into the wreck, you know, she calls her dad. One of the first things is like, oh, you know, was your mom drunk while she was driving, you know, those kind of things. So like she has this instability that forces her to like regress emotionally on a consistent basis. So I thought that was a nice little touch without having to kind of like hammer that home. That felt pretty authentic.
It did feel authentic. And like that's like you know what's interesting about this film is it's coming hot on the heels of us talking about Crawl, which is similarly a B movie concept that is played somewhat straight. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about that a lot. You know, we had a lot of negative things to say about Crawl last week, and you know, a lot of it had to do with like the acting and the writing, and that's where this movie was like, man, this movie is like just leaps and bounds above Crawl. It's playing with the same sort of like taking taking this B movie concept very seriously and very straight, but the dialogue, the way that things are presented, and just these actresses, they're allowed to be so much stronger. Like I don't know, I'm a mark for Zoe Kazan to begin with, though. She's like a celeb crush. She's great, and then the little girl does a great job too. I'm sorry, I'm gonna look up her names. I don't want to say the little girl, but
Ella Ballantine.
Ella Ballantine. Yeah, I don't know if like they don't like physically look related, which is interesting, but they have a really, really good like troubled mother-daughter dynamic that really feels lived in and authentic, and they don't have to just outright state everything they're thinking like we do in Crawl and things like that. I don't know. I just couldn't help but compare those two movies because it just it's like they're both monster movies basically. You know what I mean?
Who's mommy's little apex predator?
Yeah,
you don't get any of that shit.
Yeah, the troubled relationship being portrayed somewhat through a monster movie lens. Like, I don't know. It demanded comparison for me.
Yeah, I thought like there were some scenes that I thought hit really well, hammering home like the relationship with the mom and daughter. Like I think the one that was most effective to me was when the daughter doesn't want her mom to go to the play. And they're fighting because in that moment they're both the mom is seemingly sober or whatever. It's just a moment where the girl's starting to get to an age where she's standing up for herself or a little bit, like she's not too scared to express like what she wants, and she's come to the conclusion like, I don't want you at my play. Like, I need you to take care of me, to drive me to the play, to get me there or whatever. But like, I don't want you to be there, you know? So I thought that and the interaction from them, I thought actually too, like in like some small, like I actually thought the mom played it pretty well because I thought her like in that scene in particular, but other scenes of her like showing that she knows that she's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah,
but it still hurts emotionally. Like it's still like she knows her daughter's not wrong, but it hurts. Like it sucks to know that or whatever. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
Like that's the thing is I really love that too. Cause it's like, this is what the self-destructive personality is like. It doesn't matter that they care about somebody, even if they do. It doesn't matter if you love somebody, even if you do, because you're going to ultimately do things that are self-destructive, and those self-destructive things end up destroying the relationships that you have with people. And it's like, it doesn't matter that she's sober in that moment and she's trying to do the right thing this time. It's that she's already fucked up, and now her daughter's like not interested in showing her off to not interested in being disappointed again, really.
Being embarrassed by her mother's attendance because clearly she doesn't know how to handle herself And like in that moment when she's just screaming like fuck you over and over again to her child is just like clearly outlines her how mature she is as a human being. And
Right. It's her leaning into her vice of like self-destructive childishness in the face of basically having already made a mess of her child's life.
It's hard to watch that scene. That's tough, man.
Yeah, but that one felt authentic because even that, you're right, the idea of like saying like fuck you, it's because like the mom is like not mature enough to be a mom, so in some way she feels like a kid to like a kid taking care of a kid, and because the younger girl feels so mature that in that moment when the mom she's almost treating her like a sister or like, you know, like an equal, which is does a great job of explaining why the daughter has to develop in that way, you know? So that, you know, we see the modes of like, which is got to take care of the mom when she's drunk and stuff like that. But I actually think that scene like really encapsulated a lot of the best kind of like subtle aspects of what this movie does well. And I thought that was one of the most significant. The other one too was the watch scene when she gives her the watch, because even in that moment, the mom is defensively hostile. Like she's not able to express a gentle kind of love, because even she's like still placing, she's like, well, you're not coming back. You know, I know you're not coming back. And it's not even coming from a place of like understanding or sympathy or an apologetic type of thing, even though she's trying to do something good and meaningful for the daughter. She's trying to leave on a somewhat positive note of like, I have this is the only thing I can give you that has some meaning, or that has, and it's still done in hostility, you know, like
it's that impulse to, when you feel insecure about something, to lash out, but it's your own daughter. It's what's destroyed your relationship. She still can't cage that tiger, even in a moment where she has the clarity to think like, well, I owe this girl something, and this is the only thing that I have to offer her, that I can give her. So she is a little like, I think that's about as good as she can manage until like an emergency comes up, and then it becomes, you know, like way less in her head about it. You don't have time to be insecure when you're being attacked by a fucking monster. You know, you just have to survive it. So it opens up those floodgates a little bit, and she starts like, not doting's the wrong word, but she starts being like reflexively affectionate towards her daughter for the first time in the movie, basically because of the emergency situation. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Also, I'm sorry, Bob, were you going to say something?
I was just going to touch on another flashback, but if you've got something else to add, go for it.
Hit that first. I got something that we'll all want to talk about later.
There's one of the more memorable scenes in this, I think, is where you see the little girl like crack the hardest in another flashback when her mom is like, you know, passed out drunk on the couch, and the girl like gets a knife and like kind of holds it over her mom and is like whispering like how much she hates her mom and she just wants her to leave her alone. She wants the distance between her mother, and she's just not getting it, and she gets like so desperate that she, you know, she doesn't actually like try and kill her mom, but she thinks about it at least, which is like pretty fucking terrifying, especially for a child that young. But I don't know, that scene like really stood out to me in a way that like, I don't know, just illustrates like how abusive their relationship is, even if it's not necessarily physical, just like the trauma that she's going to have to be therapized later, you know, to get through for sure.
You're not wrong, but I did not
push
like
that down.
Just stuff it. Just cap it. Bury it deep.
No,
you didn't like that, Randy?
Fine. I mean, I just didn't like, I felt like that was out of character for her. I know that she like, it's like a hurt people sort of thing. Like, I understand to some degree, but it's such a huge leap from the little girl that just wants to like get out from a somewhat abusive and somewhat certainly neglectful situation. Like, I don't know. It just felt a little bit like bigger than it ought to have been. Like, I don't think that she wants her mom dead. Like, it didn't really feel like that the whole movie. That's the only scene where that's even kind of implied to me. There's a difference between wanting to be out from under an oppressive family member and wanting to murder them. Like, I don't think it was a desire to murder. And maybe it was lashing out, but it was lashing out, like, for who, you know? Like, it's not like she's the only one that's participating in it or even knows about it happening.
I actually agree with Bob. I think it's good to show that state of the daughter, because so many times we're showing, like, you know, she the very first scene, she's responsible, she's doing these things, but some of the richness of this film comes from those moments where, you know, she's squeezing the doll and the mom says, "You're too old for that." You know, these little moments that show the cracks in that she is a child or whatever. And I think it's not necessarily from the fact that she wants her mother dead, but it comes from a lack of understanding the world and, like, still being very immature in experience in life and, like, being taught the right kind of way, because from this, like, innocent perspective of, like, she knows that she wants to be with her dad, and they don't explore that element. So, like, as far as we can tell, it seems like the dad at least is in a more stable situation or whatever. So really what we can imply from that is the little girl sees this as a perception of the only thing keeping her from a normal life, like being raised and not like this thing that she probably, like, just wants and needs so much of, like, just be a normal fucking person. I want to be a child. I don't want to be cleaning up your puke and your cigarettes and shit like that. Is just this mother not allowing that to happen or being the obstacle that stands in her life. So as this, like, immature aspect, all that she is able to fully, like, process and understand, like, she in the mom's desperate state of, like, hurt, the daughter's there to hug her and, like, give her love. And then when the mom is, like, comfortable, the daughter is able to be selfish for once, and what she wants is to have that normal life, and the obstacle is, like, the mom. And so her having that, like, just kind of basic child kind of reaction, not a child, that's not a basic, but like a basic human type of thing of, like, you're the obstacle that's standing in my way of, like, a basic need, you know, to be with my father and stuff. I thought I agree with Bob. I thought that was pretty good.
For my part, I feel like that can all be said in another way, and that's the thing that I have a trouble with, is, like, I just don't get a violent feeling from this girl, no matter, like, at no point does she feel like except for that point, does she feel like she's a danger to anybody. She is the one that's in danger, and she's, like, her mom's basically, and not in the exact same position, but in a pretty similar position to when she, like, hugged her on the floor of the bathroom. Like, she's passed out drunk again, and this time the girl is, like, upset about it or whatever. But I just feel like holding a knife to her is, like, it's too violent to even be, like, an impulse that she would have. I feel like that's more writing to the audience instead of writing to the character. Like, it's writing to tell us that she's feeling that, when it's not necessarily, I think, what's truest to the character. That's just how I feel about it. And it's, like, it's a quibble. It's not the world.
Yeah,
it's not
I guess you could
but
have that exact same scene just without the knife. I do think it's important to show her.
Yeah, she could be whispering. Yeah,
like, have a breakdown.
She could be, like, picking up the phone, hit 911, and pause it before hitting send or something. I don't know. Like, there's a million things that can be done. This is a responsible kid, right?
Yeah, and maybe they do that to, like, help kind of prepare you for the ending where she goes, like, you know, full predator with, like, the flamethrower and, like, does murder this, like, beats the hell out of a monster and sets it on fire. It's like, maybe they're kind of preparing you for that to show that, like, she's willing to do what's necessary. Obviously, she doesn't want to kill her mom, and when her mom does get hurt and is clearly about to die, like, that scene is extremely hard to watch too, because she's, like, begging her mom not to leave her. She loves her mom. She definitely doesn't want her to die. But I don't know. Maybe you could have done that in a better way. But I think it's important to have a scene where you really do. You see the girl, like, have a breakdown moment, because she's not going to be
Yeah, a breakdown
mature
moment,
and
sure.
measured in every situation.
It's just a matter of how it's handled for me. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, the thing is, like, I think all that stuff is solid. The thing I was going to bring up before, which is not, like, this is just something that we were going to get to regardless, I'm sure, is just the horror element of this movie. Like, the monster itself, I think, is one of the strongest things about it in terms of effects. I think this thing looks pretty fucking good. I was pretty pleased, especially after last week when we saw, like, you know, fully CGI, pretty mediocre looking stuff. I don't know. I was happy to see something practical and that they mostly keep under wraps. They might have shown a little too much of it at the end, I would say. But aside from that, like, I thought it looked pretty imposing, and I don't know. I just was pretty taken with it. I liked it.
I disagree with most of that.
Oh.
I do. I agree with the fact that last week the CGI alligators look like dog shit, and it is like 99% of the time much better to have something that's practical. But I thought they showed way too much of this thing. I did like the setup, the wolf and the tooth and stuff like that. But once they let it out of the bag, man, they show it way too much, way too clearly. You could see the full design. It's just staring it in the face. And it looked kind of cheesy to me, to be honest. I didn't think it. I wasn't crazy about the design. Certainly not showing that design full front and
Full
full frontal. But
I think it's only
you know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of fucking that Donnie Darko thing. I just I did not like the little rabbit guy and Donnie Darko, whatever.
Oh, the
kind of had
bunny?
like the ear. Yeah, kind of had like the ears and shit.
It reminded me of Rick Moranis and Ghostbusters a little bit because of just the physical shape of it.
I see that more than the bunny. I liked it, honestly. I'm glad they showed it as much as they did, because if it was mostly in shadow, I feel like the movie is already at like a little thin for me. If they showed the monster even less, it'd be even more thin, I think. And since it was all practical, I thought what they showed looked pretty solid generally.
I think that's where I'm pretty much at. Like, I think that if I think they could have hit it a little bit more. I think maybe like 15% more hiding of the creature or withholding of the creature, maybe even.
Yeah, you gotta edge Randy
a little more to my
days.
liking. You gotta edge me, baby. But ultimately, like, I think the design was cool. Ultimately scary, no, but it's a creature feature. I'm almost never scared of the monster in a creature feature, like design-based sphere. So I'm not really looking for that. I'm looking for, like, does it look imposing? Does it look like something that if it was real, I would be kind of freaked out? I would be scared by it, or does it operate in a fashion that is frightening? And I think that latter part it definitely does because of the way it hunts, the way it stalks, and things like that. It feels very animal, which is perfectly appropriate. Like, it's an uncontrollable wild creature that is of unknown origins and looks like kind of like a Cloverfield monster with big ass fucking attack the block teeth. And that's, you know, that's cool. It serves the purpose of being a monster in this film really, really well. And and more than anything, I was just pleased at the fact that it looked like it exists in the world, whereas if it was CG, probably would not have.
Yeah. I'm crazy about it, but yeah, I mean, it didn't like bother me so much, but I was just, it was kind of also too, since we're moving into the more critique area, we praised it a decent amount. I did not like the ending. I thought about it because I was thinking about the ending. I'm not really sure how to end it in a better way, but I do think that there is better ways. Like, I had to just, I understand the mom was hurt in the wreck, and even her kind of admitted, like, I'm gonna die whether I go or not, to kind of, you know, tell her daughter straight or whatever. But her, like, going out there and then dying, and then the little girl just still being stuck in the ambulance, and then setting up this trap and shit. I was like, that just does not.
If she had waited,
the mom needed. I wanted the mom's. You know, I wanted the mom's sacrifice to kind of mean something a bit more. Yeah. You know, we've gone through this whole thing where the daughter's resentful, the mom's resentful, even in touching moments, they're kind of bitter towards each other. And there's no ever moment of like straight love or vulnerability, and the mom like kind of finally shows it, but it doesn't really mean anything. It kind of sucks.
I agree with you. I totally agree with that. Like, I think that this ending is very like mixed messagey, and it feels like they set up a better ending of some kind, but it doesn't happen because like there's this running thread of the little girl saying you never listen, and the mom showing that she doesn't listen, and then like it would have been more coherent to me if like I don't know if the little girl like came up with a plan and the mom or something, but I don't know if there was some sort of like collaboration plan, yeah. And she has to listen to her daughter. She has to in order to save her daughter's life, even at the expense of her own. And then she gets to make the final sacrifice after taking her daughter's advice. Like if her daughter had come up with had realized, oh, he's scared of light, or oh, he's afraid of fire, or whatever. And then like she came up with the whole plan of the flamethrower. Like if the mom had waited 5 more minutes, she might have come up with that and had a better plan, had it as some offensive tactic besides going out there and just dying. I know she's bleeding internally or whatever, but she seems like she's holding it together in that scene, at least enough to where like she's just kind of going out and like laying herself down prostrate to like she even like dunks the fucking torch.
She's not fighting it off or whatever.
So that
like, do you really think she's going to be able to run away from this thing? It chased down an ambulance you're in. Like,
she's not trying. She's sacrificing herself. I think it works ultimately because like the mom is not capable of protecting her child. She's not capable of caring for her child. Like we see at the very beginning of the movie, the roles are reversed. Like the mom is the child, so to speak, in this situation.
That's why I wanted to see them reverse back, like a redemption of some kind, more than just being like, I'm going to throw myself to the wolves.
I think there's sort of an emotional arc in the mom where she finally can be honest with her daughter and say like, you're the reason I live, basically. Like you're the most important thing to me. I love you. But at the end of the day, she's still who she is, and she's not a capable human being, and she makes a stupid decision. And true to the daughter's character, like her daughter could run, like her mom does sacrifice herself to try and like distract the creature. The daughter could run, but she's so used to taking care of her mother, she can't bring herself to leave her mother, so she goes to try and save her. The characters are consistent in that. So
that's true.
It might not be the most satisfying like movie ending, and I wouldn't argue that it is, but I think it makes a lot of sense given the characters and how they're written.
I guess I just don't
satisfying.
It's not. I get.
Well, it doesn't feel like a conclusion. It feels like a continuation. Like it doesn't feel like an arc coming to a close. It feels like the same level all the way through the credits.
But it does. Yeah, Bob's right. It is consistent with their characters. That's
the thing is like, at a certain point, the character needs to change. That's there's got to be something going on with the hero's journey. I would think anyway. That's what makes stories happen, is they feel conclusive because some like the ultimate core of the problem, the mom's lack of ability to care enough about her daughter to listen and pay attention and be more than neglectful. That's her big fault. And she doesn't really solve that by doing what she does.
I agree. Sort of even if they had done like a plan where the daughter comes up with something and the mom agrees, and in the mom's situation, she realizes that she can't do it well, or she can't, or like she's gonna, and she willingly does give herself. That would feel a little better.
Right.
I don't know.
Like if she tried,
but you're right. I mean, what happens does fit consistently with how the mom is. It's such a dumb plan to just be like, she leaves her daughter again. It just like that feels
right,
because then the daughter's got to be there and watch her mom bleed out as she dies. And I'm just like, God, this fucking sucks.
The movie's very much, it's not the mom's story. It's the little girl's story. And and her killing the monster, I really do believe is her like taking down the damage that her mother has done and like wrestling with it and like owning it and becoming her own person, because she really doesn't have another choice.
Well, yeah. At the end, she's like, "Oh, I'm not afraid of monsters anymore."
Yeah, which is
sometimes they're real, but I'm not afraid of them anymore.
But yeah,
which is a little cheesy, but like, I don't know. I hear you, and I think that there is something to that. I just don't think that ultimately I don't think that the mom gets a full arc, and I kind of I don't like the way that ends. Like for her, I feel like her sacrifice. It's not that it didn't mean anything ultimately. It's just that it didn't accomplish anything, and it didn't land a plane of the plane of her character arc in any way that mattered to me.
Yeah,
like
because even like
didn't really land.
Bob's saying like, oh, the daughter's got to do this to like put all the shit behind her. But I mean, to be like, I don't like, yeah, we get that sense that she could do that at the beginning of the film. She's literally taking care of her mom. She's taking care of the house at a very, very young age. So it doesn't really, it doesn't feel like, I mean, yeah, good
like
for
her.
Good that she, but yeah, it doesn't feel like anything had to be accomplished or any lesson needed to be learned or anything needed to change. It's just like, I assume she's capable at the beginning of this film.
If this was a more experimental kind of film, then I can accept that sort of thing. You know, whatever, it's fine. But like this feels very like rooted in hero's journey type stuff. And at the end of the movie, at the end of the hero's journey, the hero's supposed to have come home having changed, and it doesn't. It feels like maybe the little girl has to some extent, but it doesn't feel like her mom ever landed her own journey that way.
Well, I think the mom is too far gone, and it's not a satisfying ending. Like, it's not necessarily satisfying. It might be more like true to life, you know. But
I do think it's probably more true to life because the planet, the mom, what she does is, it's well-meaning, but it's fucking stupid. But she's very incapable.
She's not very capable. I think there's definitely
I just wish
an emotional understanding, and like there's an honest emotional exchange between the characters. So there's growth in that. But they are ultimately who they are at the beginning of the movie as well. They just understand each other.
I just think it needed one more signifier or like turn.
I get it.
Like again, like
I get it.
I just wish that like she had just like the daughter had said like no, use this instead or something, and the mom like instead of saying shut up, I'm thinking or something or whatever she's gonna say, shut up. She's like, Mom, really, listen. And she's like, okay. And then she takes her daughter's plan, and then the plan goes to shit, but she tried and she listened to do it. That to me is all it would take to push this over and make it reasonably satisfying.
I agree.
Well, fellas, any other points you want to touch on before we rate this thing?
No, I mean, we've kind of like been pretty positive towards this for having said it was.
I think we give it a good split. I think we give it a pretty good split, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, but you know, it's it is what it is. Well, let's go and rate this thing out of 5. Ready, Randy? I hope you're ready to rate this out of 5. How do you think?
Oh, what do you Yellow feel? Randy, he's here. The yellow fella.
Yellow mellow Randy.
Yeah, I think I still feel largely the same. I feel a little bit better towards this movie having had this conversation because it did really kind of like dust off some of the stuff that what I didn't think was working as well, and also like I don't know, it kind of evened me out on it a little bit, but it also like it didn't change it that much. At the end of the day, I feel like there's like just some missed opportunity in this. If there's some good juice, but not enough for the squeeze. Ultimately, I don't think that's why I don't feel like I would recommend it to too many people. I feel like it's just it's not quite a super effective monster movie, and it's not quite a super effective family drama. It's kind of down the middle on both, and that's kind of a shame because there's some like the good elements, the really good acting. I think some pretty decent dialogue exchanges, some pretty impactful like just scenes and flashbacks and stuff are kind of brought down by like some weird editing choices that make it a little confusing. And I don't know. I just feel like it stood the chance of doing a lot more with what it was presenting at the front of the film. So I don't know. I'm still pretty down the middle on it. I think I'm more positive than negative though. So I'll give it a 2.75.
2 3/4 from your boy Ready Randy. Juice. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think I like the first half of this movie a lot more than I like the second half. Even like the setup of the wreck, the wolf, the monster, them kind of like going back and forth in the car, and then the consistent like flashbacks. I was really on board with that, and then it started dropping more and more the more monster we get, and the more it kind of is thin there were moments where I was like, God, this scene is just going on too long because they got nothing else to do. Yeah, it just there was a lot of dead space. It felt like just a really lot of slow, empty space that wasn't doing anything new or building anything. It just felt like we were stretching time sometimes. So in that, I just started to grow more and more impatient. As I said, I wasn't as crazy about the monster design and the look of it as you boys were. The ending just fell flat to me, and her little dialogue was, pretty cheesy there at the end of "I'm not scared of monsters anymore" and stuff. Like, come on, you've been really subtle up until now. Like, you've done a really good job of showing these kind of like things. We don't need that. We don't need that. It's just, but I really do feel like when they have space to fill, when they are trying to say something, they're saying it well. I thought that the writing and the acting did a really good job of really fleshing this relationship out in a realistic way. It felt authentic to me. And even though it's hard to watch sometimes, I was like, yeah, that's, a very immature, youngish mom who resents her daughter would say fuck you to her over and over again because she's just that immature and that like desperate. Like, it's just I don't know. I thought those scenes worked really well. So overall, I think I'm going to give this a 3.25.
All right.
Bob?
3.25.
Out of 5. Where are you going to go?
The lead is such a weird way of saying it.
The Deucey 5. I really think the performances are what put this movie over the edge here. The mom and the daughter, Zoe Kazan and Ella Ballantyne, are just really kind of killing it, and I think elevating the material here. I do also think the monster looks solid. It's not blowing my mind necessarily, but I think they do a good job with the design, and I really appreciate that it's largely practical and just treated well. Like, if the monster looked like complete garbage, the movie would also just fall apart. So I dig all that stuff. I think the flashbacks are like the true gut punches. Really difficult stuff to watch just because they are so effective. There's like maybe a couple scenes that actually reminded me a bit of Jurassic Park, like when the tow truck driver's arm like lands on the hood of the car. I was getting like some Jurassic Park vibes from that. When the car or the ambulance flips over, and, they're being like chased down and all that stuff. I've never heard of a tow truck driver crawling underneath your car to make repairs before towing it. That was news to me. I was like, this guy's going above and beyond.
Yeah, dude.
What's in going the on? Fucking pouring rain in the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere.
And when the fucking mom starts blowing the horn thinking he's still underneath there, dude, I would be so pissed off.
Me too.
That was a cool scene though, how the camera shows he's not there.
Yeah.
I thought there was some good cinematography going on here too.
Yeah. The movie looks really good. The performances are good. The monster's good. It is ultimately like a little thin, just kind of across the board. The movie's just it's just kind of a straight line, and it is not super deep. It's just kind of like what you see is exactly what you think it is, which, like, not every movie has to be like super convoluted or super late or anything like that. I this was written and directed by Bryan Bertino, and I like get the sense that maybe he just grew up around an alcoholic or knows someone who did or something and just wanted to like process that in a very one-to-one kind of way, which I get, and I think he did pretty successfully, as far as I can tell. I guess the only other negative I have is like the rewatchability, like, because it is such a bummer. Like, I don't know that I'm just throwing this thing on maybe ever again. It's kind of a tough watch, but ultimately I think there's more good here than bad for sure. So I'm going to come in with a 3 even out of 5, and that's going to put our aggregate at a 3 even.
All right.
All right.
Seems
there you go.
medium,
and also
loose, medium to loose.
also to that scene where the mom's like digging through the recycling and she finds the bottle and it's just got a little bit and she's like kind of wrestling with it. I thought that was authentic and well acted as well.
Oh yeah. No, I that's one of those scenes where I'm just like, no, don't do it. Like I'm like kind of doing my talk to the screen thing. I'm like, come on, be better.
Zoe, no.
Oh no.
Don't
I don't like seeing
it.
No.
Randy says no. No.
Did you just call me Randy?
Randy says
Randy.
no.
Oh God.
Hey.
Okay.
I don't like where this is going at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
Whenever you guys do pick a movie for us to review on the show, you have the option to send over a voicemail or an email with your own thoughts and ratings about the movie you chose. And your boy Mike did send over an email. Juice, you got that pulled up?
I do. Here we go. Hey guys, a long time listener, first time picker. I came across this movie a few years ago while looking for some monster films that were lesser known to me. At first, it seemed like it had everything you would want out of a diamond in the rough flick. An alcoholic mother and her self-sufficient daughter, a monster on an abandoned road, the guy who directed The Strangers, an A24 production. Yes, please. Unfortunately, it fell short of expectations in more ways than one. To its credit, I enjoyed the setting. The dead wolf body in the road was used to great effect in building tension. I also thought the actors did a great job as well. Zoe Kazan and Ella Ballantine make a believable mother-daughter pair, though they do come off more as siblings at times, but maybe that was on purpose. I think that was on purpose. Where this movie really struggled character-wise was in getting me to care about the mother. I mean, there have been depictions of bad moms in film, but this one was the worst. I had no empathy for her at all. The lack of empathy made her whole addiction struggle and arc fall flat on its face. The movie also suffers from going back and forth between being a horror and a drama. Had it just leaned into the horror with some drama sprinkled in, I think it would have been able to draw me in more. In conclusion, I had high hopes for this movie. The first half was better than the second half, and I ended up sitting on my couch thinking more about the movie that could have been rather than the movie I saw. 2.5 stars for effort. Thanks for watching and keep on chilling. Thanks again, Mike.
Wow, that's mostly along the lines of what we were talking about. I don't really agree about feeling nothing towards the mom, nothing positive.
Yeah, that was a strain. Yeah, I didn't either.
That's the one thing I'd quibble with there. It's just like I did. Like I felt like somebody. It felt authentic to addiction to me. Like
yeah.
Totally. No, she's a bad person. She's a bad mother. But like the worst mother in film, no. I don't know, man. Lucille Bluth is worse than her.
She felt like a woman who had a daughter way too early, who wanted to be better but was incapable of being better and just couldn't allow her daughter to go.
Between addiction and immaturity, it's just a toxic brew, and that's what ends up with somebody being a single mom with a kid sometimes. And it doesn't always work very well. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've known people with addictions and stuff, and it's, it can make you irrational and destructive. Well, why do you think I knew that?
That's
you
why
had a real problem.
Randy's been living on the edge. Straight edge Randy.
That's what they call me. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't see it quite that. I mean, like fucking Mommy Dearest exists. Fucking Carrie's mom exists. I can't imagine.
I like how
a worse mother than that.
I like how Mike sat down to watch this movie and was like, "Man, that really wasn't very good. I got to get these guys to watch it."
Look, that's a very 2.5 movie. I got to get the boys to check this one out.
Look,
but I mean, you know what? To be fair, though, none of us had ever heard of this movie.
I'd seen it.
Oh,
really? Did you say that?
Thanks for listening.
No, I don't do that usually. So
The most important members of this cast never.
And just like I said, none of us had
Rob,
ever even
please,
heard
please.
of it.
We're talking.
Oh, Rob, just shut up. Finally, better late than never, asshole.
What is none of your business?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not Ready Rob, it's Ready Randy. Yes.
Yes.
None your business.
Oh, yes.
What do you mean you don't like it?
Thanks for picking this flick, Mike. You got one more chance if
Thanks,
you
Mike.
want. July 1st. Mark your calendars.
Thanks for introducing us all to this film, Mike.
All
we
three of
appreciate
us. Brand new. Randy, are you ready for Rotten Tomatoes?
Am I ever?
Let's do it.
Certified.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gentlemen guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is on RottenTomatoes.com, starting with the critics or the tomatometer and moving on to the users or the poopometer. Let's go over to the critics at 47 total reviews here. There are 47 total reviews. Bob, why don't you kick us off this week? What percentage of those reviews would you wager are positive reviews?
This is... It is an A24 joint. It's a little brutal. I think it'll be on the positive side. Maybe not crazy positive. I'll take a 75%, please.
75%. All right. Soju, where are you coming in on this one?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we're going to need a
that's-
different number than that.
That's right on the that's right on the cusp there. I was trying to do some quick math to see how we could potentially tie. I think if I go 79, then maybe it's 77. So 79.
So the over in hopes for a tie.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sorry to let you know.
I think it could be positive, but I'm wrong, I guess.
Yeah, you're not correct. It's not going to be a middle whatever, a mean between you two. But on the upside, you are going to take the prize on this one. It's 81%. You were damn close. Just 2
okay.
points away.
All right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was tough. I kind of thought it would be sitting around there too. It's kind of hard to tell.
It's a tough one to tell. Like, it's certified fresh. Like, I was a little surprised to see that it was that as high as it is.
It's
and
certified?
and all this stuff. It's certified. I think 80 is the
How
cutoff.
many critics was there? I wasn't paying attention.
47 total critics. Yeah.
I thought you had to have more than that to be certified.
I kind of thought that too, but maybe it was like grandfathered in from before they changed the rules around.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit older. Anyway.
Because when we were at Beef, or like we were talking to one of the directors, they were like, oh, if it just gets over this number, it's positive, but if it gets over this number, it'll be certified or whatever.
Yeah, well, not maybe in 2016 years it's a little different.
Maybe it's like 100 now or 120 or maybe hell yeah.
Mhm. There it is.
I thought you were saying 100, like 100%. I was like, maybe it's 100% to get certified. I was
Oh,
like,
you're just edging
that's a pretty
us.
tall order.
Maybe,
Y'all just wait for
maybe.
it so much now. You're just like
There it is.
waiting for it.
Get it out. Go ahead.
Out with the bad
Just
air
do it.
in with the good.
I need to stop
let's move over to the
waiting for a couple weeks. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
impossible.
Do us a favor, please. We're sick of all this winning. 2,500 plus audience reviews. Damn, I cannot get this out. 2,500
Get
plus
it
ratings
out.
from the audience.
That's what
The
she
poopometer is at 2,500 plus. We're going to go in reverse order here. Soju, what percentage of that would you call positive?
I think it's going to be lower. 81. I'll take 69 dudes.
69 dudes. Well, goddamn.
69 dudes!
Bob, how many dudes are you going to take?
Definitely think it's going to be lower than the critics' score. 69. I don't know. I could see people being pretty frustrated with this. This reminded me a little bit of that other A24 movie, It Comes at Night, but like nothing ever fucking comes.
Yeah, that's a good call.
At night or in
Spoiler. But yeah.
So I don't know. I could see people watching this and being like, you know, maybe not as frustrated as that movie, but like still thinking like, that's it, huh? 69. I'll take maybe we can tie. I'll take a 67, dudes.
67 dudes. I don't have a bump for that. Well, unfortunately, again, no tie. And there's going to be a much more significant margin here because the correct answer is 40%. Rob's walking with this one.
Damn.
40%.
That's
People
a big
are
drop
not
off.
fans.
What that is a big hell skeet.
That's a hill skeet right there, Bob. That's a yeet and
The
skeet.
yeet and skeet special.
Oh,
See it
boy.
every day.
I see it every day.
Bullshit. Derivative.
Derivative.
Let's read some negative reviews and see what these critics' problems are. Okay, here we go. Strong acting, ambitious themes, and a limp final act make for one frustrating horror film experience. I mean, that seems pretty spot on.
Whose final act you calling limp, guy? Damn.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
The impotent hunter over here.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
My boy Bryan Bertino doesn't take kindly to that accusation. Okay.
Let's read one more here at random.
Yeah.
Here we go. The central relationship almost turns the monster into something more thoughtful about the ways we can put differences aside for a greater threat to our safety. What? I don't understand that
Yeah,
sentence.
what the that's not what the movie's about.
Let's
So-
put our
relationship
differences
almost-
aside, daughter. I don't think so, buddy.
I think you missed the
More
point.
thought.
Okay,
I don't
there,
think-
guy.
there is there is an ellipsis at the end, so maybe there's like a coherent thought at the second half of that statement. I don't know. I'll do one more.
Sounds like
one more. I swear.
impotent review.
One more.
The limp
It
rip.
fails to generate anything resembling scares or suspense here, and the fault rests almost entirely with the script.
My boy Bryan Bertino doesn't take kindly to that.
That's
I
a
wouldn't say
limp script right there.
entirely, but
limp.
It's not the best part. All right,
Limp
yeah, that's it.
Bizkit.
Fuck the Rotten Tomatoes. Bob, how's that
Yeah.
trivia looking on this?
There's like nothing really.
Oh.
Okay. Well, what do you think? We're going to go hunting?
Yeah, let's talk Cooter of the Week.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the
Juice, what is a Cooter and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Bob. Cooter's character type. That is straight Sean exclusive. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most points. The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. We do not have a lot of characters to pull from. It feels a little mean-spirited, but probably got to consider the bomb on this one.
Yeah.
I think she's the only
think
one that
she's-
would really register.
Yeah.
I think Roy's like the only thing we see about Roy is like
Yeah.
like he gives Cooter energy, but he's in such
I
a
don't know
short
if we-
amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know
Like,
if we
what
We
see
just don't
is
have the
he?
info.
Yeah.
We
But
can't
probably.
gather enough. Probably.
Probably.
He seems like a real piece of shit. Yeah. So let's go down the list for the mom here for Zoe. Sexual deviancy. I mean, tough to say based on what we get, but it seems like she's neglecting her child while like doing shit with Roy. I guess you could qualify that.
That's
I don't know if
just
it's
like
sexually deviant. It's just shitty.
yeah,
Like,
it's not sexually deviant, I don't think, but
Yeah.
it's being a piece of shit while being sexual.
while
Not
getting it
really,
in,
like-
yeah.
yeah.
No kink shaming.
I'm kink shaming.
I
I'm
might
kink
shame
shaming
that
neglecting
kink.
your child. I'm
If that's-
sorry.
Yeah, if that's the kink.
Ooh man, I'm not gonna feed my kids tonight.
Make your own
Turned
beefaroni. Mom's getting it in.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Manipulation.
Yeah, when she comes out and she's like, "I'm sorry, okay," after she's been like sleeping and her
little
daughter's been
manipulative,
trying to get her, and like kind of giving her the
just overly
there's like
defensive, though.
there's like
It's
some
more-
emotional manipulation I feel like going on sometimes.
Maybe, yeah. I think there is some, but it's like kind of low register stuff. Like it's more like very obviously defensive reactions to things.
Not
like,
exactly
because she knows she fucks up.
intentional manipulation, but like just immature and trying to get herself off the hook.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Don't hate me, or do you hate me, or
she did say that. That's like pretty straight manipulation, to be honest.
Yeah. So manipulation, I gotta give her patheticness. She's just a bad mom.
She's pretty.
I mean, she's really bad.
Pretty
mom.
bad. Yeah.
She's really bad.
Damn.
So patheticness and manipulation. Smug arrogance. Oh, she's fucking honking at the goddamn dude trying to fix her car. Yeah. And like her attitude is pretty bad.
Yeah.
She's got a bad attitude.
Yeah.
But is that arrogance or just a bad attitude? I feel like there's a little bit of subtlety there.
I feel like if he was around, or when he was, she was like really kind of talking down to him, and
might be a stretch. I don't know, but
no, I think it's a little bit of a stretch. To be honest.
A bad attitude.
Just a shit.
Looking at tired.
I mean, she's strung out, so that's not a good look. Strung out.
Unless you're into that kind of look.
Unless.
And I am.
Well, kind of white trash look going on there.
Yeah.
Again, I will say, so it's a very attractive person.
Not my style, Randy. I'll let that's all for you, buddy.
Randy's ready.
Randy is ready.
But not the strung out aspects. Yeah.
Believe you.
Oh, good. Thank you. It all hinges on your belief.
Ain't that?
I don't know. What do we think? We got like a few like pretty low rumblings
like
on the McGages.
Cooter light. Yeah. She's on the watch list. Maybe.
Yeah, she's on a watch list. Yeah, there you go.
Have you seen this Cooter?
We'll let you keep your kid, but we're monitoring you.
I don't know if I'd let her keep the kid.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
We're stealing your kids away.
Yeah.
Bob's gonna watch them for a while.
That's Bob, did you know that you're becoming a foster dad today?
No. I had $1 for every time.
All right.
I hope you have. $0.
I deserve at least $1.
It's got to buy the blues with something.
Cooter Light.
Those don't last forever.
Well, that dude does get gift cards.
Dude
just had a birthday, so God.
I do got a gift card.
Whoa, just one singular gift card.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, I know. Cooter Light. Yeah, maybe no certified cooter this week. Sounds good. Yeah. Let's talk about what we've been watching.
Hey, gang. What you been watching?
Ready, Randy, what you been watching?
What?
You
gotta follow.
What have I been watching?
That sounds dirty.
just follow.
That sounds filthy.
What you been watching?
Actually, what was it? I don't remember the name of the gas station in this, but it reminded me of that gas station that I got you a koozie at, Bob, called Rotten Robbie's.
Rotten Robbie's,
California.
Yeah. I use that on occasion still.
You should, it's a good Rotten Robbie's, and the tagline is, or the slogan is, "Trying to be good." And I'm like, I love this gas station. Fuck Buc-ee's. Rotten Robbie's is where it's at.
Fuck Buc-ee's.
Trying to be good.
Try to be good. What does that mean?
I mean, I'm rotten, but I'm trying. There's some
trying
real
to be a good mother. Yeah, that's like with this.
There's some real honesty in that.
Like we know we suck, but we're trying to be good.
I love it.
I don't believe you.
if the Rotten Robbie is listening to this, please call in and we'll give you some free advertising.
You walk into the bathroom at that joint and there's a shit on the floor. Like you just expect.
Honestly, it was pretty clean. It was like a pretty nondescript.
They're trying to be good.
They're trying. I'm telling you, they are trying.
Authentic. We're trying to be good. Buy a koozie.
Trying.
Trying to be good, dickhead.
There ain't even shit on the floor.
There was shit on the floor, but not no more because we're trying.
Not no more.
We're trying to be good. This is the kind of advertising you can expect from us, Rotten Robbie.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Sign up for our advertising program. Remember that old Dracula ad we made? That was pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah. Dracula could be your spokesman, Rotten Robbie. He's trying to be good, too.
He's trying.
Yeah. or the Mummy or Frankenstein or whatever it was.
But he's trying.
Oh, yeah. He is trying. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. I also I watched Life of Chuck in theaters. I got to see our pal our pal Franklin Rich in his quick appearance. That was nice.
Oh, nice.
And it's an odd movie that it's very existential. It's very melancholy. And it kind of it's portrayed. I'm trying to decide how to say this because it's spoiler adjacent, I guess. But
Soft.
It's like the way that it's the time works in the film is really interesting. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. I could go into more detail, but I'm going to struggle.
So it's non-linear.
It's a little bit non-linear. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's interesting.
And the performances are good, and there's some real solid stuff in that movie. I like it. Similarly, I finally watched Dinner in America, which has gotten a lot of
That's a weird one.
I haven't heard of that one.
Dinner in America, it came out in 2020, and it got I think Red Letter Media picked it up, and so it became sort of like this word of mouth sort of deal. I finally got a chance to watch it, and I liked it a good amount. It's got that Tyler Gallner in it, which is like the guy who's kind of becoming known, especially in the horror world.
The dude from Strange Darling.
Yeah, dude from Strange Darling, the dude from Smile, the first. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I really fucking hated his character right out of the gate. And the movie managed to turn me around. That's a pretty solid turnabout.
Yeah. He's a prick.
He's a bit of a prick, but and I come from punk rock circles. It's a punk rock adjacent. I'm into that sort of thing to some degree. And buddy, this is not the kind of punk dude I want to hang out with for a lot of it. I don't know. I like it though. I don't know how else to say it. I recommend it.
That's good.
Maybe it doesn't quite live up to the hype though, is I guess where
I watched that Red Letter Media. I watched the movie whenever it came out a few years ago, and I watched their review this year, I think, when it came out. Maybe late last year. And they're rave review. I was like, man, I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know. Yeah, it's worth a watch.
The music in it is good.
So you're saying it's biased review? Is that what you're saying, Bob?
I think they wrote him a check. Your boy Kyle Gallner.
It's a review. I think they're inherently biased, are they not?
He sent them. He bought them a Q-Check coin and sent that over.
When are people going to start buying?
Now they're rich.
And now they're rich.
If you want to buy us off for a good review, go ahead.
Buy, right?
Just click buy. Yeah, on this video.
Yeah. Okay. We're killing time here now. So I also have started watching another true crime series on HBO called The Mortician, which is pretty interesting. I don't think it's my favorite of the HBO true crime documentaries, but it's it's an interesting story. It's an interesting enough story. Again, I like it. If you want to go with that, again, it's good. Go ahead and put that out there. And then I did actually get a Switch 2. I've been playing a lot of the new Mario Kart, and I
Mario Country or something like that.
Mario Kart Country is what they're calling it. Yes. And I will say that I don't think I can heavily recommend that you buy the Switch 2 right now. It's pretty lightly supported. It's pretty overpriced. All the things that people are saying are true. but it's got some nice features, and I really do think that might be I'm not the world's biggest Mario Kart fan to begin with, and I love the free roaming aspect of it, and I love the like interconnected tracks and stuff like that. So I have a good time with it. It brings me more to like a Zen Garden level than the previous games do, which just kind of stress me out. So I like it.
Snap.
Yeah, exactly. There's these games that are just kind of like they're not quite cozy games, but they're they're you know.
You know what used to also have an open world was Diddy Kong Racing. Remember that show?
Oh yeah,
I never played that. Did it really?
It did. Yeah, it had like an open. You could go and choose like what place. Yeah, it was open. You could like switch vehicles in the open world. Yeah, planes.
You could like drive between tracks and shit.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
Back in the day, man, they were ahead of their time. Diddy Kong Racing was pretty sweet.
It was a fun one.
Yeah,
I like that.
Damn. I never played it. I was never a big racing game fan in the first place. So it's rare. The only reason I actually got Mario Kart is because it's like the main thing on the system right now, and it's packed in with the one I got.
Just waiting for that Zelda, baby. Just waiting.
Well, I did play like the upgraded Breath of the Wild a little bit, and it does look significantly better. It runs significantly better. But
I never had any problem with it running though.
Well, it's not really like that. It like breaks down or anything like that, but the frame rate is much better. It's much more fluid looking. It looks more cohesive, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And then the last thing I'll mention, because I'm taking up too much time already, is I got to go to Warped Tour DC this weekend.
Whoa, Randy.
Which featured a ton of bands that I didn't give that much of a shit about way back in the day, and I don't give that much of a shit about now, but I had a good time watching a lot of them. And then there were some bands that I love there, including Streetlight Manifesto being chief among them. Mostly ska bands. Aquabats, got to see Aquabats, got to see Suicide Machines. Saw a little bit of Motion City Soundtrack. That was kind of fun. But yeah, it's nice because it's like a few blocks from my house. It's a very fun festival to go to because it was extremely easy to get to, and we won free tickets. So it was pretty
nice.
low impact on everything.
Whoa.
That is sick.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, those festival grounds, they smell like dookie. They smell like poo-poo.
Blame Green Day.
I blame Green Day for everything.
Good. Juice, what you been watching?
You know, I haven't been watching a whole lot of new stuff. I'm still going through Peaky Blinders. I made it past the point I originally made it to, so I think I just watched up to season 2 last time. I'm in season 3 now, and I gotta say, I think that show might be a little overrated. It's okay. Like, performances are good. It looks good, but the writing's kind of cheesy sometimes. It's overly, like, masculine kind of stuff, like the main
masculine.
Well, just in the most basic ways, like, you know, like I really liked Vikings. I thought that show was written really well, and that's a very kind of like masculine show. But this one is just like whenever the main guy gets into some trouble, he always just kind of gets out of it. But it's always in like some really basic ways, and he always gets what he wants, and it's a little simple for me, but it's good enough. Performances are good, and yeah, setting is cool. They just throw in like modern music all the time, though. They play Arctic Monkeys all the fucking time, and like into the Stone Age and so yeah, they'll just like throw it in there.
I had no idea they had modern music in that.
Yeah, it's weird. Most of the time it doesn't bother me, but sometimes it does. And other than that, I got to go to I finally got to go to the Pride Parade this weekend in Seoul. Every year I want to go, and I always find out about it like the Monday afterwards. Like people posting shit about it. So this time, and I almost missed it again. I was like, oh, what are we gonna do today? And then I was like, oh, it's Pride Day. So we went out, and it was fun. It was a really good time, and it was a good march along. Like it was a solid path through the middle of Seoul and downtown, and it was hot as shit, but it was a really fun time, and I'm glad I got to go this year. And the only other thing, I'll give a quick shouts outs to my boy. So one of my buddies here, he's a filmmaker, short films, and he just released a horror short. It's called Dead Inside, and he said it's inspired by Dead Space, but it's very much got some Saw vibes to me, but it was cool. His name is, God, I just realized I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's Tony Bosch, Bosch. H. Tony. You can look up his
Bosch
YouTube.
is how that's typically pronounced.
Yeah, I would assume so. I just realized, like, I was like, oh shit, well, I've never heard him say his last name. He's a Frenchman, but he's a good guy, so it's okay. We let that slide. But I will say though too, if you're,
it's rich for any American to hold somebody's ethnicity against them.
Nah, he's a great guy, and he does some good work, and he actually released one about 9 months ago. I think I shut it out when it came out, but it's also called Next to You. So if you're on his YouTube checking out his stuff, I suggest that one as well. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been watching anything else. Bob, what you been watching?
Just a couple things, really. We had a Marvel double feature last night, and we threw on the first Iron Man movie and the first Captain America movie, which I hadn't seen in years, and they both held up quite well. Those are solid joints.
I like those movies.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
I don't know if they warrant 800 follow-up films, but
no,
they're pretty good.
They don't. It just like watching those movies reminded me, like, you know, there's still humor in them, but they don't have like the constant quips, and they really focus on like the drama more than anything. And it's just like, oh yeah, these were just like good movies back in the day, and they just kind of like, I don't know. I think they got in their head about like the formula. It has to be a certain way, and
I really think that like maybe Captain America is the strongest of the franchises in there. Having not seen the new one, which I know people say is boo boo.
I agree. The first 3 Captain America movies are just bangers, and then the newest one's not great. But.
Well, by the time they got to his third movie, they just made it like a big team up movie.
It was
so
just
I feel like that's a little, it was like
it's a little bit of a cheat.
It's a little
code.
cheap, a little bit. But the
second one,
I was never like super crazy about the first one. It's pretty good, but
I like the first one because I like a period piece in this mix. You know, especially back when that was not happening really. I
just remember when he's like supposed to be really skinny, and then it's kind of janky, a little janky.
It does look a little janky, but it's kind of, it makes it more fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Women in that movie are just trying to get that dick though, and it's hilarious. It's like they are on his ass, on America's ass.
That's what we say. That is in the popular nomenclature.
It's America's ass. The only other thing I've really been watching for some reason is the Dexter prequel show called Dexter Original Sin.
Yeah.
And
why?
Just morbid curiosity.
Is it the same actor? What's his name?
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall. Okay,
so he's back for the continuation series.
Yes,
I saw a post the other day that was cracking me up. That was like, remember in the Dexter series where they just slapped a wig onto Michael C. Hall and he was a teenager? And that shit. I remember that was so fucking stupid. Like,
I want him and like Jigsaw with a backwards ball cap to hang out.
Hell
yeah. Looks so shitty, that wig. Oh my god.
They didn't do that, but it's like the exact same show. They just recasted it because it takes place in 91 and he's like fresh out of college. And he gets an internship at the Miami PD, but like the internship is really just him doing the job. They just like send him to like active crime scenes to like take pictures and like blood samples and shit. And it's like they would never let an intern do that shit.
Just riding that 90s nostalgia wave. How much grunge have they been playing so far?
Not a lot.
Okay. I was like, that show's not from the 90s. What are you talking about? I got you.
Well, he said it's set in 91.
It's set in the 90s. I got you.
Yeah, they've got like, the acid wash jeans and like some of the colors and stuff, but they're not like hammering the 90s vibe as hard as they could, really. But it feels like you're watching a Bizarro take on Dexter, like from some other universe, because it's the exact same show. It's just they recast it. It's all the same fucking characters.
I told y'all last week, it's the Mandela effect. We are watching the same show.
It's just the same show with a Whitesnake soundtrack, isn't it?
I wish that it needs more Whitesnake.
A little bit of Dokken in there, maybe.
I would like to rock with Dokken. It's like not horrible, but it just is what it is. It shouldn't have been made. It doesn't need to exist in any way whatsoever. And if they've already greenlit a second season, and the Dexter like proper show continuation comes out, I think this fall. So they're double dipping. Michael C. Hall does do like he like narrates the prequel show. So like you still have his voice.
Oh, really?
Kind of in the background and stuff. Yeah,
that's probably the best role. Like I don't know. I love him as an actor, and I'm a little disappointed that he agreed to do all that shit.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just getting cheesed
Make
up.
that money.
That's absolutely. Like I don't blame him for wanting to make a little scratch or whatever, but it's like I don't know. I thought I would like to see him do other things, and he just for whatever reason isn't.
And then it
I mean, what, 4 seasons, and then maybe 2 more were okay.
To be fair, like this is probably better than at least 2 or 3 of the seasons from the proper show, so it's like it could definitely be worse, but it's
I genuinely like sorry, go ahead.
It just doesn't need to exist generally.
Sometimes I think about revisiting it though, and I'm like, I don't know if I think I'm just gonna leave it as positive in my mind and just let it say. Yeah, I don't think I want to revisit
for real. It just doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
If you want your Michael C. Hall fix, my recommendation is 6 Feet Under. That show is fucking still incredible.
Yeah, I might need to rewatch that shit. That's a good one.
That's worth a watch. That starts to repeat itself a little bit, just like Dexter, but at least it's repeating itself with like just a full roster of A+ fucking actors and some like good drama and shit. Anyway,
yeah.
Anything else, Bob?
That's about it from me. We do have 2 voicemails to get to though, so let's jump on over to our Hotline Screams.
Hotline Scream.
If you guys are listening, would like to call and leave a voicemail to be featured on next week's show, hit us up at 904-638-3231. First up, we're going to hear from our friend, the librarian. Let's hear what she's got to say.
Hey, Queens. First off, happy Pride. I got some rapid-fire questions for you since the hotline streams have been a little dry lately. Call in. Anyway. 1, what should my horror trivia team name be for next month? Bob had massive success with, I think you came up with Sometimes Head is Better. I came up with Bring Her Back Shots last night. I just want to know if Randy or Soju will come up with some gold. Question 2, are y'all excited for Megan 2.0? I feel like a freak on a leash here for not being excited about it, especially because they're just like hardcore pandering to the gay horror bitches with the she's slaying into theaters and like playing Britney and Chapel Road in the trailers. It just looks so doo-doo caca. Let's give the villain a hero arc tomfoolery. I'm not excited. I am possibly seeing it with Jackie though. Jackie's on the Slack.
Hey.
Anyway, and next question. What do y'all put on your wings? Are you dry rub bitches? Are you saucy bitches? Let me know. I'm just curious. It might be straight chilling fanfic related. Bye!
That last line is concerning.
I thought at first she was like, what do you put on your wangs? And I was like, well, that's a little personal.
A Jimmy hat, of course. I don't know, like fucking trivia team names.
Yeah,
like
sexy
Bring Her Back Shots is pretty tough to beat.
Bring Her Back Shots is great.
That's pretty fucking great. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
I am not a pun guy. I'm terrible at that kind of shit. So I don't know.
There's that movie that's just called Here Comes Daddy. Like you could just change the spelling on comes and there you go. That's an easy one.
Oh God, Bob. Oh, God.
Rob, you are so disgusting.
It's not even
you
a
disgust
pun,
me, Bob.
You dirty bitch!
I'm just trying to help. Just trying to help our friend out. So
only friend you're helping out is as a jumper, Bob. Okay.
God damn. Lord. I can't remember if I mentioned it last week or not, but I recently rewatched Megan, and it was like a little boring, and it definitely like they don't know that like they're making a movie that the LGBTQ community is going to love, and you can like tell. But yeah, that trailer, like when I saw the trailer for Megan 2.0, everything that Ripley just said, basically, I like thought, but I was like, I don't know, maybe the queer community is going to be into this. I don't know, but it felt pandering, but I guess, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like they accidentally struck gold, and now they're just like really going hard.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm not excited in the least. I didn't love the first one to begin with myself, but at least it felt like that outcropping of love for it was somewhat authentic. It came from like the dance becoming a thing or whatever.
Sure.
But you can't recapture that sort of thing, and the harder you try to do it, the more cringy it becomes. So it's like, I can't imagine that there's a lot of people that have seen that trailer that are super psyched, unless they're like pretty young, or if they're like super diehard about it to begin with.
It's like the accidental camp versus the intentional camp, and it just really feels super forced in that trailer. Anyways, super forced. And yeah, she's like the hero now. The Megan character is like a hero
too.
Like,
what? Also, okay, not anybody who hasn't seen the trailer, like tune out for a second. But yes, that. But also, the fucking same characters bring her back. It's not even like an old rival finds the plans and like revitalize. No, it's the same. Like, this time you'll be good though. Like, no, what the fuck? This thing tried to choke you out and like almost popped your eyes out of your fucking skull. What are you talking about? Who would do that? They almost killed your fucking niece.
That's yeah.
I think I did the mini cast on that one, and I was not positive on it.
No. I will say that one great trivia team name, which has probably been taken many times, is the Bear Winch Project. Go for that.
Oh well, yeah, that's a classic.
Edward Penis Hands. Yeah, you could just go straight to like.
Just go to the porn section.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We already did back shots, so clearly that Rubicon's been passed. All right.
Yeah, Invasion of the Booty Snatchers is of course my favorite.
How about the Nunya Business?
Yes.
There you go. I knew somebody would agree.
Yeah. Look at you guys coming up with gold, just like
Wings for the purposes of slash fiction. It sounds like I'm concerned, but I don't know if I have a strong preference of Wings. I like a lot of different kinds. I like a lot of variety, but if I had to pick, I think I'd go with like I don't know. What are the wings at V Pizza, Bob? What do they call those?
I don't. They're a dry rub. I don't know exactly what they put on them.
They are a dry rub,
but they put like
it's like
giant,
chilies.
It's like spicy, and they put a giant pile of caramelized onions on top.
Caramelized onions.
Yeah,
that shit's great.
Or
smoked wings, like barbecue smoker wings or whatever. Those are probably the top tier for me. Those are the best I've ever had. Those kinds. But I also love a good buffalo wing. Just standard buffalo
saucy wing.
Yeah, those Mojo's
Publix
smoked dry rub wings are good. Those are some of my fave. Yeah, I kind of prefer a dry rub too. Or if I'm gonna get some saucy ones, I like usually like a little kind of sweetness in there. You know, your teriyakis, your honey barbecue, maybe.
I like a lemon pepper here and there, and you know,
Asian zing. You know me. Boys, like a little Asian.
Yeah, I know.
Do you like consistent
Asian
man?
Zing? We weren't asking about your wedding, okay?
What you put on your wing and your wing.
Jesus Christ!
Sorry,
oh man. Yeah,
I skew to the spicy side of things, so I love like a Jamaican jerk.
Insanity.
No. Not that insane. But like a Jamaican jerk, like dry rub on a wing, that is very much my jam. Or if you're going sauced, just like a classic buffalo hot wing, that's my shit.
Yeah.
Spicy. Give me the spicy.
Sometimes when you say I want wings, like buffalo is the first thing that comes to mind for a reason. And not just because it's the most available, but because it's the most reliable, usually. Even a bad buffalo wing is still okay, at least. You can have some bad other flavors, though.
Totally. Yeah, I don't like the sweet stuff, generally. Not on the wing, anyway.
I guess I'm a little bit less of the sweet stuff, too. Teriyaki I can get down with, and it's like a Thai sweet chili. I can get down with that, maybe, but
Whoa,
Not a ton of those.
That's now you're stepping on Juice's wang.
You're in my territory now, Randy.
I didn't mean to step on your wang.
Hey guys, stop stepping. Don't tread on my
We're
wang.
just playing. We're just writing the slash fiction for the librarian.
Oh yeah.
Don't make me step on your wang.
Oh man,
Soju.
It's got some teriyaki sauce on it.
It's extra sticky. Man, we got so distracted, or at least I did, by the librarian's great questions that I forgot we got another voicemail we got to get to.
One
real
more
quick.
voicemail, Bob. Come on,
let's do it.
Next up, we're hearing from Hydraberg. What's he got to say?
Whoa.
That message still gets me. It's funny. What's up, gang? Just calling in. It's been a while. I didn't get a chance to call in. Just thank you guys for coming on for a Cut Above's 200th episode. It really meant a lot to get all three of you guys on for us. You know how much we love you guys, and we love the community. So, and having Nicole on and everything, it was just so fun. But I also called. I wanted to thank Mike from 35 or 37 minutes south of Albany, I believe, upstate New York. Mike, you called in a while ago and shouted me out. I appreciate that, man. I'm a little bit behind on episodes, and I just heard that shout out, and I really appreciate it. I don't know what I did to be such a cool guy, but I do appreciate that uplifting compliment. I'm hoping you listen to a Cut Above, maybe, and you dig my poetry and my dick jokes. But yeah, if I'm ever there, or you're ever in New York City or Long Island, fucking sure, let's get together. As long as you're not a serial killer. Yeah, I'm good, man. We can get a beer or coffee or whatever, bro. See a movie. So shout out to the community. Stay chilling. It's a great place to make friends. Love you guys. Keep chilling. All right? Be creepy.
And
it's weird. I don't know what everyone's talking about. I haven't made any friends through this community.
I've only made stacks of money.
Money is my friend.
I only just get a ton of dudes. That's it. That's all I get.
Straight this is now the classified ads section of the show.
Yeah.
I saw
People
you
just
at
be
the
sending
coffee
me
shop.
We'll get a coffee, we'll get a beer, bro. No problem. We'll just hang out.
Just hit me up. Just hit me up. I am not 100% sure if the mic that called in and just said what's up to Hydraberg is the same mic that chose this movie or not. There's more than one mic that listens to the show for sure, so it might be the same one.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure.
I don't know.
That's what I thought at first. I was like, there's no
yeah, that'd be wild. Yeah, maybe.
It might be. Not sure. Call in and let us know.
You gotta have a sweet code name like Hydraberg, and then we'll remember you.
True.
Sure. Yeah. Or not. You can say I'm that Mike, and then that's it.
I'm that Mike is a great nickname.
That
Mike.
Remember when people used to have times attached to their name? 2 p.m. Todd and such. 1 a.m. West.
1 a.m. West. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Made it real easy to remember everyone.
What time are you, Mike? 5:45.
Give us
Mike?
your time.
1300 hours, Mike.
Midnight Mike.
Ooh, that sounds.
That's alliterative.
I can't come up with trivia names, but I can give a good nickname.
Damn.
What?
Damn. That's a saucy wang there.
Get off! Don't tread on my wang, Randy.
Don't tread on my wang.
I'm never gonna come at this rate
unless you're into that and you got stilettos on or whatever.
True, yeah. I do.
I do have stilettos on.
Come on, Rob. We've known each other how long?
Let me see them feet, Randy. what them shoes do?
See, you don't need to write a thing, librarian. It's all right here. We bring it to the table every week.
It'll be all in the supercut. Just wait for the supercut to come out.
Just wait another year and a half.
Plump, so right.
It'll be here before you know it, boys.
Thanks for calling in, Hydraberg, and thanks for inviting us on for your episode 200 over on A Cut Above, and congratulations again. Killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Killing the game.
Yeah, Hydraberg, it's worth noting, Hydraberg is OG hard with us.
Yeah.
Thanks, my guy.
He's
been around a long time.
Always been hard with us.
Always.
You've always been hard with us.
Again, if you guys want to call and leave a voicemail for next week, hit us up at 904-638-3231. Do you guys have any prompts for next week? More wing content?
Yeah, tell us about your wings.
You like your wings?
Tell us about your wing
saucy or
preferences.
dry? Let us know.
Also, I don't know, based on next week, I think we've brought this up, but it's probably been a long time. But if you had to continue on a franchise or bring a franchise back from the dead, if you want to go back and revisit them or something like that, what do you think is a franchise that's being underrepresented these days? What do you think has one that's justified to be revived or continued on in some way?
Don't
Let
say
us know.
Dexter. It's not Dexter.
It's
I
not.
think it's
They've
probably
tried.
Dexter.
They've tried so many times.
Yeah, it's a good
They're still
question.
trying.
Just keep trying.
What's ripe for a remake or a sequel?
I think I know what you did last summer is really just overdue, I think.
Dude.
Yeah.
I tried to watch I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. It's horrible.
Oh.
Don't do
yeah.
it.
Is it?
Don't
No
do
way.
it. The third one? Yeah. Holy shit.
I am
The third one? I didn't know. I thought there was two.
Yeah, there's a third
That one came out like 10 years after the fact.
Yeah. There's a huge gap.
I don't know if I've seen the second one, or if I have, it's been a long
It's
time.
fun. It's Jeff Combs. I mean, the original cast comes back, but it's got a smaller role with Jeff Combs and Jack Black as well.
Okay.
It's in the Bahamas, and it's fun.
Whoa.
Hey-o.
We need to start making films so we can just go on sweet vacations with our buddies.
Do the Adam Sandler, where you just go to Hawaii
Yeah.
for a month every year.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Guys know
now
any
in the
Saudi
filmmaking
princes we can
business.
coerce into
I'm gonna hit up my
money?
boy Tony, and we'll call Franklin over, and we got the connections now. We're gonna make this thing happen.
We got the connect.
Bosh.
Wasn't that Chud, where Marv, his character's name is Bosch? What's that actual actor's name?
He would just said he called Bosch's name a lot.
He was
and
yelling
that was
at Bosch?
Kevin McAllister's dad. He's like, "Come on, Bosch!"
Right,
like
yeah.
very Midwestern.
Dude.
It was awesome.
The Chud is a prequel to Home Alone. Watch it.
It is.
It is
Absolutely.
definitely, yeah.
All right.
Cool.
And then watch Bud the Chud.
But
the Chud
yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah, treat
which
yourself.
will absolutely answer all the questions
Yeah.
you had left over from Chud the First.
Actually, you know what? I've got work on the list. I haven't seen that one, so
Oh my god, we should.
it was brought up on the Slack.
just
Yeah, we probably need
review
to
it.
cover Orca. If somebody had picked
Orca?
it for their U pick instead of
Dude.
whatever we covered.
That fucking movie is not.
Yeah.
It's not better than Jaws. It's not. I won't hear
We'll
of it.
see. We'll see. We got to officially cover it
never
on
seen
this
it.
cast and see if it gets higher than a 5.
It gets higher than
Man, that is a winning record.
that'd be a first time.
All right.
All right, call in 904-638-3231 with your franchises that need to be revived, resuscitated. Let us know. We'll be back back next week with a brand new show. As always, we're talking about 28 years later in theaters.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Oh my God, I can't wait. In theaters this weekend. I can't say now, but this weekend it'll be there. Slam it into your eyeballs. Get ready for next week's show. Until then, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
Groovy.